Hello viewers, I'm SP and welcome back to Bright Falls here in Alan Wake. It's a wonderful, picturesque mountain town where nothing ever goes wrong. Look at how beautiful and bright and sunny it is. Let's just take a nice stroll down the trail. Am I abandoning my truck? No, okay, we do get to drive the truck. That seems like a good idea. I'm not looking forward to the part of this where we are in the mine. Okay, I appreciate that very realistic moving over in the car animation.
I come to believe that the story in the manuscript was coming true. The current of its narrative had taken me deeper and deeper into dark waters. Alice had been taken from me. Barry was probably in jail. I was a fugitive from the FBI. The whole world taken over by the dark presence was trying to destroy me. It all felt real, but it matched a textbook case of insanity.
It does. It is, like, very obviously paranoid schizophrenia. I do not like driving quickly in the truck. I feel like we're going to miss stuff. There's so many areas off to the side of the road where there could be things. This makes me very nervous. Also, if I'm honest, I'm not wild about how long it takes him to get in and out of the truck, which makes it really discourages you from veering off and checking for stuff. I mean, this looks like the kind of place where there'd be a thing. Also, I don't know what's going on with the camera. It's, like, very weird and jerky when we're driving. Is there really nothing... This little side area doesn't have anything in it? Could that actually be the case? Because they gotta know people are gonna see this little side region and think, okay, well, there's gonna be a thermos or a manuscript page or something. No, it really doesn't... Did I miss something at the other burned out vehicles? Oh, right, Alan. You know, I play other video games where the characters can jump their own height trivially, and I always forget. Forget how a real person's legs work. There's nothing in our old friend here. Nope. There's no reason at all to stop. Can I steal this car? Hell yeah. Look at this. If you have one car you can drive around, you're just a captain. If you have multiples, you're an armada. This is not... Whoa. You're not an armada, you're an admiral. An admiral has an armada. You know what I'm getting at. You get the joke. I'm going to drive this one into the ravine, obviously. Wow, it's a... Well, listen. I don't drive a lot. If that's not obvious. Alright, can you execute... Yeah, look at that. I'm gonna execute some sweet moves here. Alright, and then Alan leapt out of the Jeep. Nope, that causes it to come to a dead stop. Well, I tried. I tried to come up with some scintillating sports entertainment for y'all. The game is just not interested in cooperating. Okay, anyway. What was I doing? Because here's the thing, this isn't actually a side area. As we just discovered, this is the way you have to go. Is that an easy chair over there? Hold on a second. Is that an easy chair just overlooking the... Hey, that's pretty weird, right? What's the... Do you think there's going to be someone in the chair? When we come over there, is there going to be... I'm a little nervous. Nope, it's just our friend, a coffee thermos. And Alan's not going to comment on this at all, because there's nothing weird about this. Can I sit in the chair? Can I stand in the chair? Okay, well, you know what? Take a load off, Alan. Just relax for a second and enjoy this view. I mean, it is nice, actually. I'll be honest, I don't like standing so close to the cliff. That's making me a little nervous. I guess the chair is just there to be a red thing, so that it's easier to see from a distance that there's a reason for you to come over here. Because, I mean, the coffee thermos isn't red. Who's ever heard of a red coffee thermos? Couldn't do that. It would totally shake people's suspension of disbelief. Is there a counter for the... I mean, there must have been at some point, because I know that there's 100 thermoses, right? There's a statistics button. Flare gun, shotgun, I'm getting lots of kills. It looks like maybe we've seen all of the vehicles, or all of the weapons already. Batteries used. Can pyramids knocked over? 2 of 12. Wow, okay. Well, I wonder if we've missed some already then. That seems like a lowish number. I guess it's not that far off of the pace of our coffee thermoses. Chests, radio shows. We're killing it on radio shows and TV shows. Signs found 1 of 25. What kind of signs are they talking about? And apparently I've not found any cardboard standees or alarm clocks or Night Springs video games, so maybe I'm not doing as good of a job as I thought at looking around. What would you even do in a Night Springs video game? I mean, I guess it would be Control. What you would do is play Jesse Faden. I mean, that's the way forward, so of course we're going to go the other way first. Have I gotten the truck stuck? No, everything's fine. The driving is bad, by the way. It controls badly. Alright, never mind this. Apparently we've been missing stuff all over the place, and that makes me very sad. But in a way, it's kind of freeing. So am I supposed to go up there? I guess let's check. In a way, it's kind of freeing, because it means, like, oh, you know, now I could just kind of give up on trying to be a completionist. Although, again, missing manuscript pages would be a bummer. Are there collectibles at this edge of the bridge? Because I would definitely have put, like, a page over here. Looks like no, and we're still having lots of fun camera jerkiness and stuff. This is, It might be better for us to just steal this vehicle rather than run down and drive our existing vehicle all the way around, but also, let's check this out.
This is Pat Main, and you're listening to KBF-FM. Folks, I want to apologize for kind of abandoning you to that looping music track last night, but I was detained. You see, I encountered a big-shot G-man with an itchy trigger finger who could use a lesson in manners and a boot in the ass. Not necessarily in that order either. Now, folks, I know I'm not being very informative here, and I apologize for that. I really should just keep quiet, but I'm just so peeved right now, because some people just shouldn't be carrying badges. I'm just glad that our Sheriff Breaker was there to straighten things out. And if someone I met last night is listening, let me just say, I'm sorry if my mouth got you in trouble. I'm pretty sure you're not the bad guy here. Godspeed, son. I hope you know what you're doing. Now, on a lighter note, I'll be talking to Dr. Nelson all morning. But first, a little music.
I'm pretty sure you're not the bad guy here, he says, with no information about what's going on at all. How does he know? I could be the bad guy. Have you spoken to Alan Wake? Have you seen his attitude? I bet he's the bad guy like 40% of the time. And you might be saying, hey, well, that's still more good than bad, but like, think about the number of situations in most people's daily lives where they're the bad guy. I'm just saying, like, 40 is still high is all. Yeah, look where you're going, I know. I'm kind of amazed that there are so many collectibles that we've been missing, though. So I feel like I have been fairly thorough. It's interesting. I might even go so far as to to look up where those like video games and stuff are, just to see. So I'm really curious how it could be that many. I also really appreciate that the developers put cars just like all over the place. There's so many vehicles for you to steal, and they all have the keys in them, which is nice. Because first of all, obviously, assembling your armada, that's important to the self-respect of any young man, but also, you could very easily get out of a car and start running, and with Alan's movement speed, you could quickly get yourself into a position where you needed to run for a very, very long time before hitting the next checkpoint. It's nice that they refuse to strand you too much.
Welcome back to KBF-FM. Hope you enjoyed that tune. Now, Doc, you were talking about life and finding that special someone, that soulmate.
Well, you were talking about that. I was saying I don't buy it.
Oh, see, to me, that's strange, because I always pegged you as a hopeless romantic.
You got me there, Pat. But I think love's where you look for it. And you need to do a lot of looking, sure. But But the idea that there's that one special person out there for you, and if you miss that chance, it's gone forever and you're forever incomplete. I mean, isn't that depressing? Or, heck, childish even? There's plenty of fish in the sea.
And apparently a fisherman has a fishing analogy for everything. But what you're saying, isn't that a little harsh?
Well, no. What I am saying is that your potential for finding that connection isn't limited to what's essentially a chance encounter. How is that harsh?
Yeah, well, I guess that's a nice thought, but let me say something personal here.
Okay.
Now, well, I don't disagree with you exactly, but I can't really fit that together with what I feel, what I felt for someone, because she was the one. She was. And I let her drift away from me. Maybe I didn't put in the work, I don't know, but, well, since then, and it was a long time ago, but since then there hasn't been anyone, not like her. And I'm not saying I dwell on her or haven't moved on. I like my life. I'm not living in the past, but I do miss the way she completed me.
You can't argue with the heart, Pat.
I'm sorry, folks. I had kind of a scary experience last night, and let's just say it's shaken a few things loose.
Just to be clear, you can, in fact, argue with the heart, and often should. What am I looking at here? Is this... I have no idea what this object is. Probably a little bit of some higher resolution textures would be very helpful there. But apparently it's not one of the things we can interact with. This is such an obvious place to stop that, like, it's very clear that they want you to find that radio. That just seems like a really strange thing to put right on the critical path, right? Maybe they're trying to drive home the way Alan must feel about his wife. I guess? I don't know. It's odd. Also, for the record, in order to believe that there's, like, one person who is just, like, super made for you, and that's the one chance you get, you gotta believe in a world that is crafted specifically for you in a way that I think is not really sensical. You're overestimating the importance of this, like, this idea of a perfect connection. Basically, don't give up. If you had it go rough, don't worry. There's lots of other people out there for you to have it go rough with. Your life can be an endless carousel of romantic disappointments. Just look at mine. What is that sound? Huh. Guess it's nothing? I thought we were... thought we were climbing towards something real strange. You know, stranger than these magic book pages.
For Mott, spying on the writer on the ferry had been a disappointment. His boss had made Wake out to be something special, but Mott hadn't been impressed. He'd gotten a good long look at the wife, though, and he liked what he saw. Mott had fantasized about goading Wake into a fight, but it hadn't happened. Still, he'd get his chance to see if the writer had anything in him. He'd been promised as much.
Well, that's full of very interesting details. Although, who knows if they're true? Because, I mean, I guess once Alan has written it, it is true, right? We'll see if it had been true in the past. Boy, that's canted in such a way, like, it's very inviting, right? Let's see if we can actually get him to make it over there. Oof.
I was early. I was supposed to meet the kidnapper at noon in the main building. The coal mine was quiet. It was a museum now.
Alright, well, if this is where we're supposed to go, let's drive on down the road a piece and just see if there's a place where there's, is this? Yeah, these are the mine buildings. Drive on down the road a piece and see if at the end of the path there's any collectibles. And we totally might be missing stuff. I have no idea where to get out of the car and even look. There's so many places. Okay, so there probably wouldn't have been anything else up there anyway, because it all just connects down here. I guess it's okay for us to just move on. What is this over here? While lucrative at first, the mining steadily declined in the 20th century. This is not the first of these signs. I'm taking the tour out of order. The seams were rich but hard to get at, and the volcanic activity in the area made the mine shafts particularly dangerous. At any moment, one of them might just turn into a lake. While there were some earlier residents in the area, the true genesis of the town of Bright Falls came with the founding of the Bright Falls Mining Company and the opening of Bright Falls Coal Mine in 1878. Although the work was hard and dangerous, many immigrants, Germans, Poles, Italians, Finns, and Swedes, among others, worked the mines. Boy, that among others is doing some, a certain kind of work there, huh? And, you know, there were people in the area before, but let's disregard that. This is basically like the number one lesson in American history is, please don't think too hard about this. Yeah, we're leaving some stuff out and we're doing it on purpose. Okay. Whoa, what happened there? It's weird, it scrolled.
With
Okay.
the nightingale gone and the night wind blowing in through the broken studio window, Maine stared at Sarah. The sheriff looked away. Maine's voice shook with barely controlled anger. That boy's doing more drinking than thinking. I hope you know what you're doing, Sarah. He's got a sickness in his eyes. You take my word for it. He wants Wake for a reason, and it's not for anything good.
Well, it's good to see that I'm not the only one who realized that. I mean, is the sheriff just, like, doing what she's doing because jurisdiction and she respects the law? Or I wonder if she has some kind of stake in this. In 1970, a volcanic eruption below Cauldron Lake, while relatively minor, caused most of the deep mining tunnels to collapse or flood. 32 miners lost their lives in the calamity, and all mining around Bright Falls came to a final stop. Now, many of the remaining buildings are protected as historical landmarks. Yo, that is truly horrible.
I didn't want to go outside. Cops had to be looking for me. The noon sun turned the place into a sauna. The day dragged on. Different scenarios ran through my mind. Ways of how I'd torture the kidnapper to get Alice back. Or the different horrible things he could have done to her. I imagined her dead. I had no way of knowing she was still alive. It was killing me. I was running on blind hope. It was all a waste of time. The bastard never showed up.
Wake,
Where the hell are you?
change of plans. You know where Mirror Peak is? It's a big mountain north of where you are. You follow the path from the mine, you can't miss it. There's a lookout point there. I'll be waiting.
I'm through being jerked around
You
by you.
want to see your wife alive? Because if you do, you better watch what you say to me. Do we understand each other?
I want to talk to Alice.
Yeah, and I want the manuscript. Don't keep me waiting, Wake.
Hello? Hello?
I could be able to...
kill him. I had to get to Mirror Peak.
And we totally will. Jesus! Okay, well, I guess it's time. I guess it's that time
It
again.
was close. Maybe closer than ever before.
Aha. There's something. That's a thing with which we can interact. Let's start with this, though. Oh, I'm already at my revolver limit. And in fact, hey, look at that. We've still got our weapons and everything. Battery limit. Never at your thermos limit. Just can't happen. Okay. I gotta admit, I'm a little swerved here. I thought for sure they were gonna have us go down into the mine, and that was how they were going to continue the darkness themes during the daytime. So reach the Mirror Point lookout. Alan just sort of slid off of that platform under his own volition.
When Thomas Zane fell for Barbara Jagger, it happened fast. She was young, vibrant, and beautiful, full of life. He had never been a very happy man, and without any seeming effort, she had changed all that. Zane felt good for the first time in his life. Everything she did was another piece of a jigsaw puzzle he hadn't even known he'd been missing. And best of all, she made the words flow, strong and sharp. She was his muse.
They're not trying to suggest that Alan is the reason for that story, right? Like, did we hear anybody mention Zane or Jagger before the time skip happened? I don't think we did. It's probably just... Wow. Why would that be here? We just placed an infinite ammo crate in the museum in case people needed to have some infinite ammo. Okay, hold on. I bet we can use these things to some effect here. Alright, good dodge. Nope, that's still actually... that still absolutely hit me. That was the maximum amount that a thing can hit you. Wow, did I just get full to zeroed right there? So those things are a lot hardier than I was expecting, if I'm honest.
Thomas Zane fell
Okay, we don't need to actually listen to it again. I just wanted to make sure that it was marked as interacted with. You know what? Let me try doing this with the bigger gun. We'll see if that makes a difference. So draw your attention this way. Okay, yeah, that helps. With the pistol, it's like 3 shots to make it go up quickly. Okay. Oh. Let's keep a thing between you and the poltergeist. I feel like these things are not at all threatening once you realize you can do that. And honestly, it feels more than a little silly. Like, why wouldn't it just... whatever force is directing it at you, why wouldn't it just, like, try to move it around the obstruction, or... whatever. I mean, I'm not... Listen, I'm not going to complain too much about my enemies being incompetent. I'm just saying. It does reduce the scariness a little tiny bit. No. That could have been a more terrifying ambush. I guess maybe if you don't stop panicked by the sound above you, those guys like converge on you right as you come out the other end. Maybe. Oh, I think there's an object in there. Okay, so that's up on this thing is probably the way forward, so let's just take a look around over here first. Yeah, it's kind of wild that there are whole classes of collectible that we haven't seen a single instance of. Alright, so am I going to have to drop... Yep, it looks like. Jump right down in there with it. Well, we can probably... Yeah, we can destroy it from up here safely. Was there more than one thing? Yes. This whole poltergeist thing could maybe have been thought through a little bit better. Oh, that's... Oops. Alan, you clumsy idiot. Maybe these will get scarier later on, but right now it feels like they're mostly pretty non-threatening. And definitely silly. Silly in a way that sort of detracts from the threat that is posed by the rest of the enemies. Okay. Guess there's nothing to do here but go outside.
What the hell?
Well, that looks fairly familiar. Boy. My first thought there was we should get inside immediately, but now I'm wondering if going inside while that thing is happening is just, like, trapping ourselves? I don't know, man. If the scary shadow tornado wants to kill you...
To go through the building, I had to find a way to avoid electrocution.
We could drive the... Boy. Would that work? Is it safe to drive in a car through an electrical disturbance? I don't know. I guess you're not sitting directly on anything metal. My guess is that this is not going to work for other reasons, but I don't know if this would be a good idea or not in real life. I'm assuming it just won't let me do this at all. Yeah, it's just going to wall us. Okay, well then we'll drive the car down here, which is obviously what they want us to do. I wonder if it's possible for the cars to... Oh, that's pretty fun. I wonder if it's possible for the cars to die from explosive damage. It's like we have an indicator up there in the corner, but it's just the car's battery level, right? It's not actually about... It's not actually about the car being destructible. I do appreciate that you can do sweet bootleggers turns, though. Smash through those dudes like you're playing Blast Core. Alright, let's see if we can tail whip this guy too. I feel pretty good about that one. Cleanly executed. And definitely a thing worth taking the time to do. Okay, so turning off the power. That line runs... I mean, we could turn off the power, or I could just ram the poles and try to bring them down, maybe? I think our attention's being directed this way. Can I pull this gate open, or... No, I guess we can access the building from right here. Never mind. Makes me a little bit nervous that they're giving us flare gun. Just gotta remember, don't be stingy with it, because they are absolutely going to take it away from you. There, another way down over here? Nope, that doesn't seem safe. Alright, let's maybe just get back to the car. The car is smoking in a way that definitely makes me uncomfortable. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't... I can't... Okay, there we go. Question answered. Car can, in fact, run out of health. Oh god, I tried to dodge, but I just don't have the physical space to dodge. I was trying to just get a little bit of space so I could aim and feel reasonably sure that the flare gun was actually going to hit them all. I guess to some extent I was treating it in my head like a grenade launcher, and I was like, it won't be safe to fire it at this range. What, do I want to get illuminated? Alright, let's start by taking these things relatively seriously. Just try to get rid of them now before we go and meet up with the rest of the enemies. That thing is a little bit more mobile than I am, though. Okay, there we go. It's hard to tell how much damage I'm taking. Ooh, that can't have been good for me. There it is. I was going to say, when's that thing actually going to come down? But I guess it out-of-worlded itself there. Oh wait, that's not the right... That's not the way I wanted to be facing. Okay. This is going a lot better. Although apparently we didn't quite get all of them out of the way. And then Alan Wake went to the museum and he just ran a bunch of dudes over in a car he stole. This is classic protagonist actions right here. This guy right here. This is the smartest enemy we've run into so far. He really tried his best. You gotta admire that. Alright, I know there's one more poltergeist item left over there, but I think we can probably bounce. The key, in Alan Wake, as in so many video games, is don't let them destroy your car. Also, try not to fall off of stuff. I'm having a hard time thinking of a video game where it's a good idea to let the car you're driving be destroyed. I probably... Maybe let's walk around with the shotgun out? Just in case we get jumped at close range by something that's actually dangerous. Yeah, that might count. You know what? I don't see any reason to engage with this in a fair way. Still don't need any batteries, because it's just... It's hard to go through enough light to use batteries very often. Do I think there might be a thing up there? The athleticism of Alan Wake, ladies and gentlemen. Is that... No, that is not a manuscript page in behind that table there. I think it's just a weird texture. I'm imagining that our flare limit is probably 20. Like, what am I at right now? 19? Yeah. We're probably getting close to that too, which means I should maybe be using them more aggressively. That's pretty effective, though. It's hard to not want to do that every single time you can. No, that's a can of spoiled food. Wait. I definitely saw yellow paint there. Trust no one in the dark. Well, okay. Thank you, graffiti artist. I mean, I guess it's good advice. It's a little bit, late, though. You know, at this point, I think I have a pretty good idea of the fact that people in the dark are not, maybe not always our friends. So we found that other coffee thermos's brother here. Follow. I am very curious who is leaving all of these paint marks for us.
Some of the Taken retained echoes of their former selves, but these were just the nerve twitches of a dead thing. Nothing remained but a shell covered and filled with darkness. In most cases, these puppets were enough for the purposes of the dark presence. But for anything more elaborate, as with the writer, it was different. It needed his mind. And so rather than taking him over completely, it merely touched him.
Okay, I appreciate that level of justification. I mean, it's possible that the light presence is the one leaving the graffiti for us, but it's just hard to imagine a disembodied light that represents Thomas Zane zooming around with a spray can. I assume just kind of like levitating near it. Boy, I don't really know what to expect here. Oh, that seems bad. Okay. That actually scared me a little bit. I backpedal uselessly. Exactly what you do not want to be doing in that situation. Turn on the thing. Okay. I had absolutely no idea what that was going to do when I touched it. I just figured it's a switch you can flip, so why wouldn't you flip it? Probably that's not like a really good policy.
There was no way the flashbang grenades were standard power company equipment.
I don't know, man. They turn the lights on, and its flashbangs are it's basically just like a grenade that's full of light. I have to imagine sometimes in the job of a power company employee, as in the lives of us all, sometimes you just think, man, I sure wish I had a grenade right now. Wouldn't my job be easier and also more fun, which does count for something, if I had a grenade right now? The answer is always yes, in every situation. And they really do make it feel bad to, like, veer off to the side and look for stuff and not find anything. Because, man, it takes a while to get Alan back on the path. And this is where we just came from, right? There's no way they are instructing me to fall back down there. Come on. But this dude is not afraid. Okay, we are at the point now where we are very justified in using the better weapons, and they're maybe not even good enough. You know what, honestly? This seems like one of those times. It didn't even kill most of the guys. Not gonna lie to you, it's really expecting to get a little bit more value out of that. You know, it's battery time. This is battery time if there ever was a battery time. One flare gun shot left, very little ammo left in the big gun. I'm nervous. I'm a little nervous. Our supply levels they're not low. But they're low enough. Okay, well that looks like something important.
I stared through the bars of the jail cell. Barry stood behind me, swaying on his feet, looking as ill as I felt. Agent Nightingale stood on the other side of the bars with Sheriff Breaker. Nightingale had a stack of manuscript pages in his hand. He seemed unhinged as he gloated. "Well, I've got you now, Raymond Chandler. It's all here. All the evidence, including conspiracy to murder a federal agent."
You know that he ran out of author names earlier, and then he went and looked some up, and that's the only reason he has any idea who Raymond Chandler is. He was on his cell phone furiously Googling guys who write books, and at least 2 of those words were misspelled. Okay, yellow paint, that's promising. Although it does seem to be leading me toward the mine, which is less promising. Yeah, in here? Okay. Well, at least we don't have to go very deep. Okay, more flashbangs. I am done complaining. I am more than happy to have been led into the mine. I am reassessing. Ow, I tried to do a real lazy dodge there. I'm totally gonna flashbang these guys, but I want them to get a little closer together first. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that we were not going to spend a flashbang in vain. I think that was worthwhile. Still netted too. Oh. Boy, this seems dangerous. Alan does not have the level of precision control that I would like for a task like this. Oh, there we go. That was the thing I was afraid was going to happen, but at least it happened on the way back instead of on the way out. Okay, real happy to see a whole bunch of shotgun ammo. Although,
I had
as
only a
always,
plan.
also
I was going
nervous.
to give the kidnapper all the manuscript pages I had for Alice. If that wasn't enough, I'd hold him at gunpoint and make him talk.
Yeah, alright. This is here for a reason. So, I mean, it's probably just better, right? It's probably just a straight upgrade. Looks like a shotgun I'm not going to have to reload as often. We have no idea which path is the right one. Oh, hey, that guy's, like, very, very close to me already. It looks like I could maybe have saved some ammo on that by trying to pop more than one of them at once. Because the shotgun was definitely... The shot was making contact with multiple enemies at a time. So if I had used the light to cleanse the darkness off of 2 or 3 of them and then started firing, I think I would have gotten a little somewhere with it. Oh god. Trees making it completely impossible to see. Oh god. Well, we are going to run out of ammo in this thing real soon. And so our health is divided into 4 sections. I'm not clear on whether that has actual mechanical meaning or whether it's just like a way to make it easier to gauge how much health you're actually missing. That was a ineffective dodge. You know what? Trying to preserve my resources. I think that's maybe not a good idea. Most games reward you for using exactly the amount of force you have to use in a situation and no more. Alan Wake doesn't really seem to... It just kind of hurls things at you all the time, so... We're probably best off just doing whatever we gotta do to get through and trusting that the game will provide more things for us in the future. Although, we have already had situations where we ran kind of thin on stuff. Turn on the light, turn on the light. Okay, that'll help. Okay. There might be more stuff out there in the woods. Possibly we could explore and find some more manuscript pages, but yo, screw that noise. I am very much out of here. Just hang out for a second.
The dark presence was moving ahead of me in the same direction I was going. A cold feeling settled itself in the pit of my stomach. Was it going for Alice?
Well, this is spooky. This is a spooky little area. No, nothing? Okay. Hey, this is weird. My Steam controller, which is sitting on my desk, within my eyeline, just turned on. The little white symbol on it just lit up for no reason, as far as I could tell. That kind of stuff could not happen. Oh, God. New, more dangerous enemies. That did not kill him. I mean, I didn't think it was going to, but... He's doing a lot of, like, real cool dodging and stuff, and not, like, getting any kind of effect out of it. Okay, tough dude. Also, the thing he said about the graveyard shift, I'm pretty sure that's not true. A lot of things cause cancer, it turns out. But, I don't think that's one of them. Oh, light. Sweet, sweet light. Okay, hold on. Let's back up a little bit here. We are close to a source of light. We can just flee if we get in trouble. I want to make sure we're not missing anything really obvious. Yeah, I'm curious why the dark presence only seems to affect trees. Like, I was really expecting it to knock over that mine building in that last focus event we just saw. But have we seen it affect anything man-made? I don't know. That may not be... I might be looking for something that's not there, but that does seem strange to me. Okay, so into that building.
The
Can we
place
get
was
into
dead,
this one?
A ghost town. Had been for decades, maybe a century.
Okay, these are not poltergeisted objects. It's just the world throwing garbage at me. Ah, that one is. Here we go. I think this might be... Yeah. Close enough to the wall. Still not like... That one was scarier because it's a larger object and it's in a more open space, but still these things are not exactly terrifying. Okay, so there's nothing in that building. No sense looking for a way in.
Things were never as simple in real life as in fiction. I had lost count of the times I had wished there'd be a clear reason for my writer's block. Something to fight, something to lash out on. There wasn't. I was filled with doubt. I was nothing like the hero in my books. Alex Casey had gone through his life with single-minded determination, never wavering from his goal. Even now, I was angry at myself, angry at Alice, angry at Barry. I was fumbling and I had no plan.
It is interesting that every book that we've seen that was written by Alan was an Alex Casey book. But we read a bit of Alan's writing that was read in the Max Payne voice. I wonder if it's supposed to be that Max Payne and Alex Casey, like, if these are in fact the Max Payne stories and we're just in like a sort of slightly alternate universe, or if they were afraid to use Max Payne because they thought maybe people would think it was like hokey that they had one of their characters writing their other character explicitly. I don't know. It seems like an odd thing. Originally founded in 1928, the Grey Peak Gorge mining town was one of the permanent settlements that the Bright Falls Mining Company built for its workers. The nearby graveyard is a testament to the dangers the miners faced on a daily basis. Most of the men who lost their lives over the years here were buried there, a grim reminder to be careful for those who remained. That's a little... okay. Grey Peak Gorge was abandoned almost overnight when the... Listen, the miners know to be careful. The miners weren't dying because the miners were being irresponsible. The company is, like, definitely 100% at fault for these deaths. And they also knew that they should have been more careful. Okay, how do we... Alright, we access this through that side. Or, I guess we can just walk in through this wall right here. Don't need batteries. Do need thermoses. Feel like there have been a significant number of thermoses that you basically couldn't miss. Like, I think that's actually the only way through there. So that's right in front of you and flashing. You could not see it. And given that there are so many collectibles that are, like, completely unmissable like that, I'm still, like, really surprised that there are whole classes of collectible that we haven't even seen a single one of. I guess they must just... They're either way better hidden or they're much more subtle in the environment. Wait a minute. Did I see... I thought I saw something flash in there. Is it even possible to enter that building? Probably not. Thank you, Alan. That's on me. I was not looking where I was running, and I damn near ran us off a cliff. Okay, there's lots of posts and stuff around here that we can use. It's a little tough because Alan is so, like... It's so hard to move small amounts, or, like, move precisely at all. When you tell Alan to take a step, he does not... He's very sluggish and he doesn't move at all until he moves a ton. Alright, same deal. Okay, well, I feel like that's a little unfair. I don't really have a chance to dodge that because they hit me through an obstruction. Okay. Is that the last one? I feel like we can afford to spend batteries whenever it would make things easier or faster because of how frequently we find one. Alright, anybody else? Just deleting huge amounts of matter from the world. I don't know how this jibes with our observed laws of physics. I guess there's a lot of things here that don't really add up from a scientific perspective. I don't know why this is the moment that it's bothering me. It's just like, where did that matter go? I deleted the chassis of a car, a couple of cars worth of metal at this point. Yeah, see this. This is like a huge amount of matter right here. Oh, interesting. It kind of seems like I'm not getting any damage on it at all when I'm not focusing. Oh, it may have just taken itself out of the play area. Well, this is going to make it a little harder to fight. Then again, it also makes it ignorable, I think. Let's just move on. Okay, just gotta make sure I have something to cower behind. What even is this? Okay, that's a non-trivial amount of light that I had to flash there. Okay, don't know why we got the cinematic slowdown.
I needed a key for the door.
Ah, shoot. Hopefully that wrecked train car doesn't have the key. Maybe the key is just laying around here somewhere. The idea is you're not even supposed to be killing these things. You're just supposed to find the key and bail on the situation. Yep, that is exactly the case. I knew it. I knew it was not beyond them to plant a collectible in this area. If you have not figured out that these things are easily disabled by just hiding behind any object, this could be a real nightmare. Fighting a couple of these big poltergeisted objects at the same time. Feels a little crummy of them to put collectibles there. Oh.
Anything outside of riding is a struggle. I feel ill. I managed to make my way downstairs. There's a shoebox filled with books and papers by Thomas Zane. It's very hard to focus, but I managed to read some of it. He's a poet, and a good one. He writes of muses and creators summoning fabulous things from a magic lake, using his powers to shape the world of a realm of gods and dreams and demons, dark things that wait for a chance to slip through, wearing the flesh of men as disguise. Zane writes about himself, his girlfriend being taken over by a dark presence, about growing scared of the lake. Zane believes it's a mirror to the gaping void of darkness above, where some Lovecraftian presence lurks. I crawled back upstairs. I'll borrow these things for my story. They ring true. They fit.
I think the word borrow maybe should have been in quotation marks there. That was definitely the most unsettling of those videos so far. Oh, do we want to switch over? Yeah, I guess we do. I am completely out of shotgun ammo. I had forgotten. I've had a couple of complaints about the facial animation, especially Alan's facial animation, which I feel like is weirdly worse than the most of the other characters. His wife's facial animation is really weird and stiff too. And my main complaint, honestly, is like the top half of the face just not doing anything at all, while the rest of the face is working. I think that's where the animation looks the weakest, is that disconnect. But I have to say, in that TV footage there, which looks like... It's hard to tell because of the low resolution and the flickery effects that are added to it. It kind of looks like a footage of a real guy that's just super down-resed. There was also no movement at all in the top half of the face, so I don't know. Maybe Alan Wake's facial actor just has paralysis of the eyebrows, and that's why the character looks like that.
The kidnapper had sent me a text. The message was full of spelling errors and insults. It was telling me to hurry up.
You know, in a certain way, in a sort of Hegelian way, he is really being held hostage by me. Basically, my point is, he can go to hell. I'll get there when I get there. He needs this manuscript. I don't mean to say this in as callous a way as it's going to come out, but he kind of needs this manuscript more than I need Alice, so he can just calm the hell down. I'm working on it. Doesn't he know writers have very poor cardio?
Birds.
Yes. True story, Alan. A little leery of spending too much flashlight fuel. Want to make sure I have enough for when they charge me. Oh god. Okay. Are they gonna charge me? Maybe they're just... Oh, yes. Yes, they are. Okay. It's one flock disarmed. Those ones apparently are far enough away that they are not damaged. Flashlight is diffusing too much. Come on, stay close. Really want this part to be over with. The birds are my least favorite enemies to fight, for sure. Also, it's really unclear to me. Oh, come on. Alright. Well, maybe I can make it back up. Nope, never mind. Second I tried to move. Yeah, that's pretty annoying, because I do not feel that I moved off of the thing at all. It's just the control is really stiff and bad. To some extent, this is my fault for being obstinate and not using a control stick. The game has 3D analog movement, and they probably intended these sections to be done with it. Well, I'm not going to stress about the birds, because it's too easy to fall off of stuff. Oh, that's crummy. Okay. Run, 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 run. You know what? Yes, fine. I'm happy to be underground in the mine. You got me. The birds were enough to make me eager to get underground. Huh. What a weird little alcove. Now I'm all nervous about the Wendigo. I would like to go back outside now, please. I've changed my mind again. Please let me have the birds. I don't like how many little, blind corners there are around here. No loot in them. Who would do this? Who would do such a thing? Just get my hopes up and then dash them over and over again. Huh. Is that Alice's voice? Is this the way forward? Yeah, this is definitely the way forward, so hold on. It looked like there was an enterable tunnel right next to that thing that said that the tunnels go to Cauldron Lake, which I guess is a thing we already knew, technically. But this is where the paint is. This is where the good stuff would be then, probably, maybe. Oh, maybe this is the critical path. I mean, but that was definitely like some flares and then a way forward.
Headache stabbed at my brain.
Yeah, I guess this is the way forward. Well, we're not going to double back again.
Alice?
Alice!
I'm losing it. I gotta get out of here.
Oh, I don't know if this is the way that I gotta get out of here, though. Oh, manuscript page.
The hunters were big, thick-set men, confident and at home in the woods. They were feeling good, running on beer, ghost stories, and camaraderie late into the night. It did them no good, as they were taken by the dark presence, sucked deep into a darkness far worse than any ghost story they ever told or heard.
Alright, I guess man, I don't want to do this. Maybe I can't. I thought they were saying we were going to have to, like, swim. No, okay, that's definitely not what they want.
I'm losing it.
So this is a dead end. This is not the critical path. You know, I guess I do have an objective indicator that is telling me the direction of the path. Again, just make sure that this is marked as red. It didn't have the unread symbol next to it, but I also wouldn't... So, it didn't have the unread symbol next to it, so I would expect it to be marked as red, but then I also would not expect it to have still been on the ground if we had collected it and it had been marked as red already, so... Just being better safe than here. Okay, I'm like 70% sure that this is the actual way forward now. Oh, yeah, my flare limit. Fair enough. That's true, I have not been using flares very much. What on earth did damage to me there? Did I get wounded by that wooden pallet not quite falling off of the platform I was on?
Even behind the closed doors and curtains of his grimy room at the Majestic, the local motel, Nightingale could feel the locals' eyes on him, the unrelenting pressure of their judgment. He forced it out of his mind. For all he knew, they could all be under Wake's spell already. You do what you have to do to get the job done. He took comfort from the bottle in his hand. Please, he thought, just let me get through this.
I am very, very curious about Nightingale's motivations. I think that is maybe the element of the story that I would most like to be resolved at this moment. Well, okay, all right, we get it. That's a lot more cave-in than was probably necessary. These guys are terrible at throwing weapons, considering the amount of time they spend throwing weapons. It's quite embarrassing for them. Alright, we got him. Nope, never mind. You still have to actually hit them. There we go. Yeah, that was a tough encounter. I probably should have grouped them up a little bit more before I threw the flashbang. I bet I could have actually killed those 2 extra guys if I had lured them around the room a little bit to group them together. Oh, this is not a path at all, in fact. And again, I know I said this earlier. I know it cannot be the case because of the order the games were written, but it really does feel like Nightingale could be part of, if not the Bureau of Control, then at least an organization
I'd have to make
substantially
my way up this
similar.
mine shaft in order to go on. Maybe the machinery could help me with that.
Oh yeah, it's definitely safe to rely on this machinery. I'm sure it's in a great state of repair. Ugh, man, I don't like this at all. Just go fast, go fast. Do not stay on that any longer than you absolutely must. So we're going to have to walk across it at least one more time here. Probably, maybe even more than that. I'm just wondering, on which one of these moves is it going to break? Yeah, we're totally going to have to do it more than just this time. I think this is about what they want. It's just such an obvious move, right? It's gotta break. Alright, everybody brace yourselves. I'm not saying that it's definitely gonna happen, but it feels so likely. Gonna make us move it all the way up, and then on the last one... wait, what am I supposed to do here? Oh, we just climb up. But, no, we do not just climb up. We knock this down so that we can climb down, so that we can pull the thing up here and then just climb back up here. That's what it is, okay. So if it's gonna happen, this'll be the one. And maybe it just falls, like, right after we get off of it to give us a good little scare. Or maybe Alan's gonna fall dramatically to his death. Game over. That's the end of the plot. And then Alan was horribly killed as a punishment for not having a healthy distrust of the ancient mining equipment. And yes, the 70s is ancient. Alan, are you gonna kick or no? Okay. Wow. That was a big kick. That's very impressive. So, I mean, it's gotta be... Up has gotta be the right way, right? Oh, maybe not. Ow. Hey, no fair. I was focusing my flashlight. These birds do not have any respect for the rules. Wonder why they even make you do that manually.
Oh, great. Another cable car. Just great.
Ugh. Yeah, screw that noise. I mean, obviously we have to go that way, but hold on. And I know we're over the hour here, but it feels like we're drawing close to the conclusion of this chapter, I think, so... I'm just gonna go ahead and make this a long one. Well, Alan, come on. Come on, buddy, I know you're tired. Just want to make sure that we're not missing anything super obvious here. Also, 6 flare gun flares. Feels like a lot. That feels like more than we will probably have a good opportunity to use. Actually, there's not anything hidden around down here. Okay, I'm assuming we're going to climb up there and there's going to be a manuscript page. And it better be a good one, making us climb all the way out of our way here.
Lightning flashed behind the windows of Cauldron Lake Lodge. Tor Anderson laughed and held the steel hammer above his head. Nurse Sinclair was trying to calm him down without success. Tor grinned madly and shouted, "My hammer's up. Here's a friendly poke from Molnir, wench." He brought the hammer down with all his might on Sinclair's head. "We're on a comeback tour, baby."
Wow, that's not at all what I was thinking it was going to be. Do we know those characters? Nurse Sinclair and Tor Anderson? I don't think I'm familiar with... We're on a comeback tour. Suggests that maybe one of them... Maybe that's one of the rock and roll old guys, maybe? That is that is the official name of that pair of gentlemen. The rock and roll old guys. But if that's true, I'm a little bummed out, because I want to like those characters, and I don't want them to be smashing people's heads with hammers. Then again, maybe Nurse Sinclair is all eviled out. So there's some important context missing from that scene. I mean, that would be the natural assumption, right? Why would my first assumption not have been that the nurse was taken? Okay, I'm assuming we're going to have to defend this thing from birds? Right, this is the point of that sequence earlier, letting me know how bad it is for birds to make contact with the cable car. Okay. One swarm down, that makes it a lot easier. I mean, we've almost actually... Yeah, I was going to say, we've almost actually killed that flock just through passive contact. Okay, we're almost there. Any second now. Could we please... Oh, God. Alright, don't get too distracted. I forgot that the back of that was just open. Oh, I do not have any control over Alan at the moment. Ooh. Weird that they would remove your ability to turn the camera. Like, if they're going to lock your camera control and everything, why not lock it with you facing the right way? I don't know what this dude's plan is. Is there... Nope, there is absolutely no reason to come down here. Why is this even... Why does this little ledge even exist? It's just a place for the pathing to go wrong. Jesus.
Shit.
That got me. That's a pretty effective jump scare. I do not like it. I wish that they would stop with the jump scares, but that one works at least. Also, I don't know when my default reaction to something spooky happening became to yell about Jesus. I am very non-religious. In theory, his name should be not so meaningful for me. Okay. I wonder if you actually get anything for interacting with any of the collectibles. Oh, it's getting all wavy. I guess we're about due for some bad guy spawns. Sure, rifle ammo. I'll take rifle ammo. I think this might be the most ammo we've ever had for our bigger gun. Which makes me feel like we are probably intended to actually use it here. Look at these guys learning tactics and stuff. It almost makes you want to feel proud of them. I was gonna say there's light right there, but also there's so much wavy darkness everywhere that I can't help but feel like we are still in grave danger. No, never mind. I was gonna say I would love to pick up those batteries, please, but I guess we don't actually need them. And all of the monsters will wait politely while we read. You know, if anything, the number one thing they want from Alan Wake is for him to just take a tour and appreciate the beauty of their little mountain town. Dying is number 2, and it's a close second, don't get me wrong. The 8th deepest lake in the world, Cauldron Lake is a caldera lake formed in a volcanic crater. The volcano itself could be considered to be active, but it has not erupted since the volcanic earthquakes of 1970, and even then the underground activity was comparably mild. Despite some property damage, there were no casualties. Cauldron Lake is one of the most beautiful spots in the Bright Falls area, as well as a central figure in many folktales. It's a popular recreational area for the area residents. Pretty weird for them to say here that there were no casualties. Do they actually think that I'm gonna... Okay, hold on. We can definitely follow the path upward a little bit more. Let's have a look up here. I'm guessing we're gonna find another page or something. Or maybe just a real spooky rock. Look how spooky that rock is. Not exactly a jump scare, but it's still a powerful moment. You see this rock and you're just like, whoa, what's happening? What's up with that rock? Why is that rock like that? Oh god. Nope, do not like it. Do not care for it. Also, wait. Suddenly turned my camera 90 degrees for no reason. I'm not going to run. We're just going to walk at a reasonable pace and take a lot of deep breaths and not think too hard about what is happening. This could be worse. You may want to back away from me a little faster, please. Okay. Now let's, oh, you're already turned. No, too far away. What happened to that guy that I was backing off over this way? Well, whatever. If he's gone, that's good enough for me. That was a little closer than I maybe should have let it get. Okay. There was a lot of enemies. There was a lot of health worth of enemies, but honestly, I felt like I was pretty in control there the entire time, which is nice. I wonder what the limit is on flare gun ammo. And also if I should maybe, you know, start using it. I mean, as long as the hunting rifle's working, why not just keep rifling through people?
Maud had checked all of Stucky's rental cabins. There had been no sign of the Wakes. It was dark when he'd found their car parked at the end of the road by Cauldron Lake. It made no sense. They must have taken a wrong turn, but there was no sign of them, and the car had been there for hours already. Frustrated, Mott stood on the rotten ruin of the footbridge that had once led to Diver's Isle before it sank beneath the waves years ago. The boss wouldn't be happy.
So I wonder if the boss is like that lady. I can't remember. I already cannot remember her name. But the woman possessed by the dark presence, or if he's been hired for some more mundane reason. I mean, I believe that Alan Wake is a man who could accumulate enemies, right? You could absolutely see that happening. Okay, I guess that is the only way we can go. So maybe this is just somebody who was really pissed off about some much more mundane slight. You know, in most video games, that would be a thing where you just climb up. But Alan has super tantrum-throwing powers that he can use to obviate any need for him to be athletic at all. Okay, well, that's inconvenient. Guess we could go in through the cellar. Oh, okay, we have to loop back around for that. Well, they know I'll do it. Is there anything I wouldn't do for a coffee thermos? I suggest no. Okay, so that's Zane and the woman's initials. Oh. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm starting to get a little bit less comforted by all of the yellow spray paint then. Okay, that doesn't open. You write this. Maybe it's not just one person. This is getting like a tiny bit spookier. Weird to find shotgun ammo here. I guess maybe they're prepping me. They're gonna like really put us through the ringer and then offer us a change of guns, perhaps. Keep seeing what I think is a manuscript page. I think it's just the shiny surface of that that dresser in back there. Oh, Jesus. Well, where did these dudes come from? This is definitely going to be a flare gun kind of situation, but I'm going to use a normal flare to herd them all to the same side of me first. And then we're going to try to draw them closer together. Oh! Hey, additional guy in the corner. Okay, that was pretty effective. It turns out it works over a pretty large area. Oh, he hadn't actually broken. Absolutely still made contact. It's a little silly that dodging at the right time just makes you invincible but still allows the projectiles to hit you. Okay. It looks like there might be a little bit more left to this than I thought there was going to be. I thought we were coming right up on the end of it. We still have to cross the mountain ruins and everything, so I think next time we see a checkpoint, we'll just call it for today. I thought we were going to be able to hit the end of the chapter. They are getting a little bit longer, though, aren't they?
I could see Cauldron Lake. I thought I could make out the spot where the island and the cabin had been. There was a light near it. It had to be a boat.
Or maybe, at this point, we've come so far that now it does make sense to just finish it.
I was close now. I had to get there fast. I dreaded what I would find. I tried to hold on to Alice, but her form melted away. I was losing control. Dr. Hartman stood in her place. I wanted to hit him, but my arms were jelly. He smiled. It was a reassuring smile, and I hated him for it. I had to give you a sedative. Don't fight it. You went through another rough period. Right now, it's very important that you stay calm. We don't want you to have another episode. You're a patient at my clinic. Have been for a while now.
I bet that is a moment, a scene from a nightmare or something. So obviously Alan is starting to doubt his own mental state, so the dark presence is gonna show him a vision of him having been committed and being in a psychiatric care for years or something.
Wait! Hey, I'm here! I'm coming!
I mean, I'm trying.
Get away! Sorry. Please, lady. The boss didn't know who he was messing with. I didn't know. I swear, I didn't know. We don't have his wife. We don't know where she is. She's probably drowned. We just said we had her to make a play ball.
Well, that certainly answered some of my questions about his employer. And they could fill us in on exactly what's going on that front. But also, if they didn't, I think it would be fine, because we totally just believe that Alan Wake has pissed off enough people that one of them might be crazy enough to hire a hitman or something, right? This is really something. Yeah. Alright, well, you know what? I think that's maybe an okay place for us to leave it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. This story it has taken some turns. I'm very, very excited to see where it goes, but we're not going to do so until Monday. So come back on Monday for the next episode, and we'll see you then.